Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Anne Muir.
And I'm Adam Navis. Spotlight uses a special English method of broadcasting. It is easier for people to understand, no matter where in the world they live.
Today's Spotlight deals with a very difficult topic: suicide. There are stories about suicide and what you can do to prevent suicide. If you think suicide is a good idea, please call a suicide crisis centre in your area.
Life can be difficult. It is common for people to struggle, especially when things are out of their control. A woman named Sarah spoke with Vice.com about her struggles. She shares,
"My dad was an alcoholic. He took drugs. He was very abusive, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I had to live with that until I was 12. Then my mom divorced him. But the damage was already done. I also had an eating problem. My first year of high school, I was only 39 kilos. I just felt like there was nothing left."
Sarah was very sad about her life. She was only 15, but she decided there was only one thing to do. She was going to commit suicide. She was going to kill herself. Today's Spotlight is on what people can do to stop suicide.
Thankfully, when Sarah tried to commit suicide, her brother found her. He took her to the hospital where she did not die. She was able to get the help she needed. She also got the help she needed to manage her sad feelings.
Not everyone is as lucky as Sarah. The World Health Organization says that every year 800,000 people worldwide die from suicide. It is the second most common form of death worldwide for people 15 to 29 years old. And more people commit suicide each year. Each of these people had friends and family who loved and cared for them. Family and friends often wonder if there was anything they could have done to prevent the suicide.
There is no single thing that shows that a person is going to kill himself or herself. There is often mental illness or alcohol abuse, and often depression. Depression is more than feeling sad. Everyone feels sad sometimes. Depression is a medical condition where sadness lasts for a long time. It can change how you understand the world and how you act.
According to the Mayo Clinic, There are some signs that a person is thinking about killing himself. If a person has one or more of these signs, it may mean that he or she is thinking about suicide.
One sign is if someone starts talking about death a lot. He may say things like, "I wish I had not been born," or "I wish I were dead." If you hear someone talking about suicide, he is probably thinking about it.
Another sign of a suicide risk is when people start to act differently. People thinking about suicide sometimes change when they eat or how much. They may also change how much they sleep or when. People may avoid being around friends and family. Susan Bailey is a medical doctor who has experienced depression herself. She wrote for Psychology Today,
"When you are depressed, you slowly withdraw into yourself. You do not go out and do the things that you did before. You stop reaching out to others. You lose your courage to try new things, and you slow way down. It is hard to find the energy to do anything, even having a shower or putting on makeup or going for a walk. It is hard to do much else than just sit and watch television."
People who are depressed and suicidal can also have mood swings. They change how they feel very quickly. They can be very happy one day, but very sad the next day. There can also be an increase in risky behavior, such as taking drugs or drinking alcohol. If someone is acting in extreme ways, it can be a sign that something is very wrong.
Another sign of suicide is if someone starts to give away their favourite things. A person may want to give away her things so people can remember her after she's dead. Similarly, a person may start saying goodbye to people. If someone has no plans to travel and they say long goodbyes, it can even be a warning sign.
Finally, it is a clear sign if someone is preparing the method he is going to use to kill himself. For example, if someone collects a large amount of medicine or buys a gun, they may be thinking about suicide. If they are doing this, they are not just thinking about how to kill themselves. They are taking action.
If you think you may know someone who is not just thinking about suicide, but plans to act, do not leave that person alone. It is important to get other people involved. The more people involved, the better. someone who is suicidal may ask you to keep their secret. This is not a good secret. This is not a secret that should be kept.
Encourage the suicidal person to talk to a therapist or a counselor. These people have professional training in suicide and depression. If the person refuses to seek help, you should talk to someone you trust. This could be a friend, a teacher, or someone you work with.
Many countries have a suicide telephone line. People can call this number and get support and resources. You can find a list of these resources on the script page for this programme. There are also many chat rooms online where you can find people to help.
But what if you are the person who is feeling suicidal? Neil Burton is a doctor who wrote about suicide for Psychology Today. He wrote,
"If you have suicidal thoughts, remember that many people who have attempted suicide and survived feel relief that they did not end their lives. At the time of attempting suicide, they experienced intense feelings of despair and hopelessness. It seemed to them that they had lost control over their lives and that things could never get better. The only thing that they still had some control over was whether they lived or died. Suicide seemed like the only choice left. This is never true."
If you or someone you know is feeling suicidal, please know that there is help. Talk to a friend or family member. Ask for help. Know that things can get better. Suicide is never the answer.
The writer of this program was Adam Navis. The producer was Michio Ozaki. The voices you heard were from the United States and the United Kingdom. All quotes were adapted for this program and voiced by Spotlight. You can listen to this program again and read it on the internet at www.radioenglish.net. This program is called Suicide Warning Signs.
Look for our free listening app in the Google Play Store and in iTunes. We hope you can join us again for the next Spotlight programme. Goodbye.